Okay, so doing some Baptiste review. I'm a bit stuffy today, so I'm gonna sound pretty congested, so sorry about that. I'm only gonna review this one game. I picked this one because it sounded like it was the closest, which is like the best ones to review, whether you win or lose. If it's close, then it's probably like good review material. So first we could look at the team comp. So we got a Hog. So as far as like the hero pick goes, first of all, like what hero you picked in the comp, I don't think that Baptiste is like necessarily bad in this team comp, but there's two main things that I would say are kind of pushing me away from Bap. Like if you wanted to, I'm not going to criticize the hero pick. This is mainly going to be about how can you play Baptiste better. But if you wanted to know what goes into the thought process of what support are we going to pick for this comp, there are kind of two things that dissuade me a bit from Baptiste. And one is that we already have a Kiriko, so we sort of already have that high throughput support. She does a lot of single target healing. She doesn't quite do the AoE like Baptiste, but Roadhog comps tend to kind of be a little bit more split up. You tend to kind of have people going for angles and such, which means that we're not going to be super stacked. And if we're not super stacked up, Baptiste's values tends to get a little bit more questionable because if he's not landing as many grenades that hit multiple people, he's not getting really like AoE. He's not getting like as much value with his grenades. So like Kiriko, if she's just single target healing and then Bap is just single target healing, Kiriko kind of slightly wins that. And then, but she also has the advantage of like she can like swift step to people and she can follow people on these weird flanks and stuff that are going to happen with the comp like this. Whereas Baptiste is less mobile. And she has like a way better ult. Like Kitsune is super like way better. So like I think the Kiriko makes a lot of sense. And then the Baptiste is like not the worst pick, but like probably not the best either, right? So the reason why I mentioned Kiriko is like a reason why you might not pick Bap is because you guys are kind of both doing the same job where she does a lot of healing throughput and Bap does a lot of healing throughput. So you're both kind of gonna have a hard time doing a lot of healing. So you're both gonna be potentially having quite a bit of downtime where you're looking to be more aggressive. And in that case, maybe we wanted something else, Maybe we wanted a Lucio just for like the general utility that Lucio gives the team comp. Especially if you guys wanted to play Hog in like more of a brawly way, you do have like a Reaper, so that kind of pushes you in that direction. If you wanted to play it in more of a like pocket the Sojourn and like let the Sojourn just kill everyone way, like Mercy would be good in this comp. And like Mercy is kind of good if the comp is going to play more spread out because she can like fly between people, and just having like Guardian Angel tethers like spread throughout the map is like nice for her because she has lots of options for like where to go at any given point in time. I also like Mercy with Hog in particular because if you're really on top of it with Mercy, you can just you could damage boost him the instant he hooks someone, and that's gonna be like super high value for like a fraction of a second, right? It's like for that instant, you kind of guarantee that he's going to kill whoever he hooks, and then you can immediately swap away to pocketing whoever or healing whoever whatever you want to do. So I think Mercy just naturally plays nicely in Hog comps, and you could even think about something like a Zen if you wanted to, and especially once you saw their team comp and you saw that they're not running like something that's going to harass you too hard. Soldier Hanzo is kind of very pokey, but not super duper flanky. So potentially you could just get away with a greed pick, like a Zen even. I think those would have been better looks than Baptiste, but Baptiste isn't like that. It's more about how you play him, and if you play him well, you're gonna have a fine time. So let's see how you do. So first of all, So this is something that I see all the time. So like these jumps, like when you do these exo boot jumps, this is like the #1 Baptiste mistake I see on the ladder. Is Baptiste players love to spam this shit. They love to just jump. And so do you see how, like, if we just look at if we just pause, and I know that you're not thinking about the game in terms of like moment to moment. Let's pause and look at exactly what's happening, because the game is happening too fast for that. But in this moment, it's kind of like, so you're jumping up in the air. What does this jump gain you? Does it gain you anything? I mean, it makes it a little bit easier to shoot down onto your targets, because when you're shooting down onto them, it makes it easier to put the grenade right where you want to. But you could be perfectly accurate here. There's no reason you should be missing your shots from here, right? You could heal your teammates just fine. Is there a downside to jumping up here the way that you just did? Yeah, you're exposing yourself to gunfire. And I'm pretty sure you don't actually know what the enemies have yet, right? So you don't know if they have a Widow. Maybe they're going to snipe you out of the sky when you jump like this, right? There's just no reason to expose yourself unnecessarily. So we got to be really conscious about why we're jumping, not just do it out of habit, okay? Even not on Baptiste, I see this all the time when I do these VOD reviews, is players will just spam jump. They'll just jump, 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 jump all the time because they think it's like strafing and it makes them a more difficult target. It actually makes you an easier target. You're just easier to shoot, especially for hit scan. You're just like, if hit scan misses you, I mean, you have no ability to dodge, right? You lose almost all of your strafe potential in midair. So you're very predictable, on a very predictable path. You didn't need that. Your hog wasn't so low that he needed that. So for the shift, I think save it for like emergencies. It was, you know, to be fair, your hog was like, he was getting low, and you might have been worried that he was about to die very quick, but like he had his breather, like I think he used his breather at the same time that you used your shift and your Kuriko used her bell. So like all of you just used your 3 cooldowns when any one of them would have been fine to let the hog survive.
We're outnumbered.
She's low enough and maybe exposed enough here. You could consider throwing a lamp for her. I am kind of okay with it either way. Like if you thought you could heal her up, it's kind of 50-50, kind of a judgment call on that one. It's tough because if she dies there, it does feel shitty that you didn't use a lamp. But if you use a lamp and then she didn't need it, that feels shitty too, because now you don't have a lamp. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this. So you're going up here on the high ground. I just think this is already like pretty far for Baptiste. Like he's not very effective from this range. So like any damage output that you're going to put on the enemies is just not worth the risk. It's not worth the potential of getting headshot by Hanzo here. I think what you do here, the plan is you kind of play around this first and foremost, this like thing right here. You could think about jumping up here. You can think about working this a little bit. And it would be nice if you could get up here. This would be like a really nice angle for you. Like a more aggressive angle, but... not really needed. He kind of reached the cover that he needed, but okay. Wasn't the worst lamp because it was he was getting kind of low. Like the mechanics and stuff is kind of sloppy. Like kind of how like sometimes we're firing grenades at the enemies, and I think you just need a little bit of practice with that cadence, that weave, that weapon weaving of where we do like. So like this standard one is like heal, shoot, shoot, heal, shoot, shoot, heal, shoot, shoot, heal. So you just take two bursts in between every heal. And then if you feel like, no, I need like all the healing I can get right now, then you just do 1 and 1. So you just do heal, shoot, heal, shoot. That one's a little bit harder. Yeah, like that was just a case of why did you jump? I actually think you would have got away if you didn't. So like it helps to do this in your own games too. Like when you don't have someone like reviewing your game for you, do this when you review your own games. Just like watch from a third person perspective and watch yourself. Because sometimes like when we see what we're doing from first person, you're like, okay, this looks fine. But when you zoom out, you're like, oh, this looks like this looks like I'm feeding, and you see immediately what you've done wrong. You see, like you just like we could probably look at it even from where is he? Yeah, soldier's perspective. You just gave him a free kill, I think, when you jumped. Look at that. He just put rounds on you so easy because you jumped. Just strafe. Just strafe on the ground, just like you would with any other hero. Just like AD strafe and mix in crouches. And then use cover. Like play near cover all the time.
My heart's still beating. So let's go. Healing you up.
So I think that you're falling behind a little bit.
Healing you up.
So you made this rotation. Okay, you got through, right? You're safe. Your Kiriko's healing you a little bit. You're getting healing from your passive. And like your Roadhog is going in. He's going in right now, right? So you can't, you know. Okay, so to be fair, you do start pushing in, so I'm not going to be too harsh on you on that. And then you want to, I'm pretty sure you saw and you heard the Ana right here, right? So she's kind of like priority number 1. Once this guy gets pushed out, we're looking to hunt down the Ana. Looks like you still haven't noticed her, or you're just focused on healing. That's fine. Like, I think this is a good position to play from. I'd like to see you shoot the Mercy, right? Because like she's healing the Sigma, so I'd like to see you just cut off the source of healing first. I know she's a tough target, but okay. And you used your window. The enemy team is dead, dude. They're dead. There's no one to shoot through your window. So that to me just looks like it's super common. Just like a failure to track like how many enemies are left in the fight, or failure to track the status of the fight. Like you killed the Mercy, we killed the Sigma, and there was like one person left, and you thought that you must have thought that there were more coming or something. So like right now, I'm kind of mentioning like all the major mistakes I see, just so it's all out there. And then toward the end, we're gonna recap, and we're just gonna go over like what are probably the biggest issues that are holding you back, and just focus on the biggest ones. So you're not spreading yourself too thin, trying to fix like 10 mistakes at once. You just focus like really hard on fixing one mistake, and then in my opinion, it's way easier to learn that way. To get better is just focus on one thing, and then once you've got it fixed, like move on to the next biggest issue. But I am on the way there. I'm gonna mention like all the things I see. So like right now, we could say it's part mechanics. It's part that the weaving between damage and healing could be more precise. It's part positioning. It's not that much positioning, but more like the exo boots, like how we keep jumping in the air and making ourselves an easier target. That's a big one. That's probably the easiest one to fix so far. And then we had that one incident of game sense where we failed to track how many enemies were left. And that tied into poor ult usage because we spent an ult when we thought we needed it, but we didn't.
Stay alive for me. I got you. Stay near the immortality field.
Okay.
Fields destroyed.
Given how, given how aggressive your hog was playing, I don't know what else you could have really done there. Like, obviously you don't want to push high ground with him because it's like just you guys versus their whole team kind of. So it would have been really dangerous for you to go up there and you lamped about the time you thought he was going to die. That's not really your fault there. So, and now it's time to leave.
Stopping you up.
Yeah, you don't want to be walking in though. What are you doing? What are you doing? No, you needed to stay back here. Like, maybe just hold this corner for now. This is... You're gonna get hooked, buddy. What are you doing? Your team is dead, buddy. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. You're getting staggered. You're feeding. That's a roadhog. He's gonna hook your ass.
Tactical visor activated. Someone has to keep you alive.
Okay, so this is a small thing. This is the decision of, do you want to push up and help your team, like, maybe get a little bit more pressure as the respawns start coming in for the enemies? Or do you want to sit cart and get one more body pushing cart? And in this case, it's just kind of obvious. They got away, right? Like, they have escaped. We're not really going to get pressure anytime in the next couple seconds. I would kind of rather get an extra body on cart, at least for a little bit. And then if you wanted a position for next fight, like if you wanted a position like up here, high ground, which is, this would be kind of a good place to start. You could start scouting for enemies and stuff. And maybe eventually rotate over to like here, where you're like probably hard to access, unless the enemies take the stairs up. They probably can't reach you here, and you got like good sightlines and stuff. Or if you wanted to start here, which is like kind of safer in the sense that they can't reach you from stairs, but then they can still see you and shoot you, and then maybe you fall down if you have to. If you wanted a high ground position like this at the start of next fight, you still have time. So I would rather you fall back and sit on cart for like a couple seconds just to get that extra speed, so that it kind of we just get the cart pushed in faster. Kind of pressures the enemies to make a play faster rather than giving them more like a bigger margin to stop the cart.
You can't hide.
Yeah, this looks good to me if you just play from here. Okay, that fight went pretty good. If there's like one thing that I could point out, that it's not like you've done like a horrible job at it or whatever. It's just, it's hard. Baptiste is like fucking hard to play, like to master him and everything, like his gunplay. But if you wanted like one thing that can help you get even better, is like working on doing headshots more. And it is really hard because you have to switch between aiming at your team and aiming at the enemies. But if you do get good at like landing, like at least like aiming for the head rather than aiming for body, that will help you get like next level. And so as far as practicing that and as far as getting better at that, I recommend just going in like deathmatch, like some kind of a free-for-all lobby. Maybe a try-hard lobby is pretty good if you don't just want to constantly get hooked by roadhogs and stuff. It's like just really cheap and you want to actually like have kind of 1v1s. Try hard free-for-all lobbies in the custom game browser is really good. And if you want, you could even just pretend like every 2 shots force yourself to shoot the ground next to you, or the ground right in front of you, and then like practice swinging your crosshair up at the enemy and getting like 1 or 2 bursts in to kind of like emulate what it would be like to do that in a real game, and practice like landing headshots.
You can't hide.
That didn't look necessary. Your shift. It looks like you're kind of shifting, like too fast. Like when you're not really low. I want to see you look back at your team though, because somebody just took damage. Wait, somebody did just die on your team. I'm pretty sure somebody died that you could have like saved. Like right about the time you started attacking and dropped your window. It was your Hanzo. Okay, so he actually just got headshot, so you couldn't have really saved him.
And stay down.
I feel like you could just push. Yeah, you could either do this, or you could have like as soon as she went over here and you were right here, you probably just could have walked over here and shot her. But jumping up here looks like it gives you a pretty good angle too. But like you gotta weave though, so like after you take like 1 or 2 shots, you do gotta try to heal your Kiriko. That's what I mean. Like it's fucking hard. Baptiste is hard.
The odds are heavy against us.
That could have done better.
I'll find them.
Here with a cure. Don't think the payload's going to push itself.
You can't hide.
Listen up. You're going to be fine.
Let the keep.
Listen up. You're going to be fine.
It's tough because you guys are like close to just being able to kind of disengage this, like just basically walk to the left and you won't get shot at all. But you do have your Roadhog and your and your soldier who are kind of, you don't want to leave them hanging either. So I would say your goal right now to like not get killed by the window, not get killed by the hog, who could go, looks like he could kind of go either way. Like obviously you don't want to stand here so he can like hook you or whatever. Is maybe work your way over here, right? Like right now there's nobody directly in front of the window, so they do have to kind of move to get to you. But see if you could work your way this way and then jump up on the high ground, and you should be safe from pretty much everything. And then at that point, it's just if you see any teammates like this, like him, and he's not like immediately gonna reach cover, probably just even invest a lamp, just so that people don't die to the window.
Let the keep.
Like when your 3 teammates stacked right here, that would have been a good lamp. You still might not have got him in time, but that's so unfortunate that your fucking Kiriko used the gate there. Yeah, at this point, just jump off the map. Yeah.
Might want to focus on keeping the payload moving.
My ultimate is ready. Join me.
Payload moving.
Let lick my wounds. Let's go.
Okay, that was quite the AFK.
You're completely healed. Who needs some?
You can't hide.
Don't think the payload's going to push itself. That would never happen.
30 seconds.
Give them another blow before it's over.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you probably needed to... I was muted for a second. Probably needed to find anywhere to drop the window.
How about I try that
Just like anywhere at all, basically. Because dying with ult is shitty, you know? Not saying it would have changed anything, but...
Score 0-2. Switching sides.
And then... I do gotta make this
Sounds
quick.
like
I'll
you
probably
have
just
gold.
watch like a little bit of the defense. I think I know kind of most of what I want to talk about already, but we can watch a little. We can watch a little bit of the defense as well, just to see if anything new comes up.
Inevitable.
tipped up shit. Careful. We're outnumbered.
So your soldier. Okay, well he just got sniped, but before that he was hurt. He dropped his heal station, and I just wanted to see a weave from you. Like you could hear, like I could hear that he was hurt. I don't know if you could hear it in the game, but just to like give a quick look, and then give him a heal. And so it's one of those things where you kind of like to be like it's easier to play in the back as Baptiste or behind your whole team so that you don't have to, because like obviously if you got teammates in front of you and teammates behind you, if the teammates behind you are hurt and they don't like say anything, or they get hurt too fast to say anything about it, you can't know unless you're like constantly turning around to look, right? Like they could be taking damage behind you and you won't know. So like the weapon weaving gets like super hard. Whereas if they're all in front of you, like if you just play further back or whatever, like if you played like, I don't know, like this or something, or like this, like you can kind of see your whole team and there's no way that anyone will get hurt behind you because none of them are behind you. And if not, if you're going to play like this because your team is, your soldier, for whatever reason, he thinks this is the best place to play and he should have at least been up here or something. You do have to do these like looks every so often. Although I should probably, I got so distracted talking about that, I should probably look and see what we died to. It looks like you died to a Roadhog.
2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
On with it.
Pain is inevitable.
So like already, I would just prefer you to be like up here. Like if you're gonna be like, so like what's the difference between where you're playing and right here, right? It's like the same kind of location on the map, except you just have high ground and like all the benefits of that, right? So let's say a Widow just comes out and just grapples up here on this high ground. You're kind of exposed right now. Maybe you have this little booth to hide behind, but that's about it. Whereas if you're right here, you've just got so much cover. It's, and also you get the benefit of like being able to shoot down on your whole team. Nobody on your team is going to get behind you from here, so everyone's forward. You could come over here, stuff like that. Like this is a nice angle to play. I just think that like taking high ground to start with is better. And then if you ever need to fall down for whatever reason, just fall down. So that, this is something that I think has happened a couple times, but I didn't really mention it, is like reloading when you don't really need to. When we're still kind of mid-fight, right? And so the fact that we're still kind of in the middle of a fight means that people could need healing. And so right here, you reload with 8 healing grenades. So 8 healing grenades is like, when you're in the middle of a fight like this, like your team is this engaged, you do not need to reload with 8 grenades, right? You just need to keep it. And, you know, maybe you could have actually saved your Moira here if you just continued to spam grenades. Because you know that this is kind of the only area where action is going on. So if you just keep, like, the logical thing is you just keep spamming grenades in here, right? Maybe you could have saved her. She did die pretty quick, but... Oh, okay, it was Hanzo that got you.
It's not over yet. Feeling better?
Objective lost. Stop the pain.
Now you see me? Now you don't. Millions of you. Going up. I got you.
Nah, that's kind of unlucky. Yeah, I don't quite know what rank this is. I would guess it's around like plat. Plat or maybe diamond.
You are completely healed.
I'm ready to start the blizzard.
Topping you up.
This is like pretty fine. This is just like a safe, just playing it safe until we get fully regrouped. I think you should drop your window like right now. Okay. Yeah, just burn all these guys, the Reaper, and yeah.
I got you.
That's a good shift, just because your Roadhog was getting so low.
I'm a fighter.
That fight was played pretty well on your part. I don't have too much to complain about there.
Reloading. Stay alive.
We're still kind of doing the jumping thing. Like I just don't think that these jumps are productive. I think it's like it's one of those things like if their Hanzo were to peek out and catch you in the middle of a jump, it's just bad. And then if that doesn't happen, there's like no benefit. There's like you don't really gain anything to these jumps, so there's no reason to risk it. That was pretty good on the Reaper. Like that's actually like the right situation to jump is when the Reaper's going in. Like that was a very telegraphed Death Blossom because like he did the thing where he flanks behind and then walks into your backline. So like that's a really good time to jump away from him, is to get that separation so that the Blossom doesn't hit you. Okay, Okay, and you, yeah. I was just gonna say, like before, it was super obvious that I don't think you needed the window yet.
You're completely healed.
And then, I actually would not like these last couple heals. So like,
You're completely healed.
like from here on, right? So like your hog, he still has like 75%, 80% of his health. The enemy team is basically in spawn still, right? And he's walking back. You have your window, right? So you have your ultimate. Your co-support, your Ana, doesn't have her nano yet. So by you healing Hog in a situation where there's no fight happening, there's nothing that can kill him. All you're doing is stealing ultimate charge from your Ana. You're sniping her ult charge. So that could be her getting a nano for this next fight. Just something to think about is that you're stealing that healing charge. It's super common. Nobody even thinks about it below like Masters. Nobody even gives this a single thought. It's just such autopilot, like, oh, they need healing, just heal them. Yeah, like even that as well. Let your Ana heal it. Your Ana tried to heal it and you're just sniping her. You're just taking her charge away. She could have nano already. Okay, we got a pick. So now maybe at this point we don't need window because we did get a pick, but we're still okay to invest window if we need to as a response to an enemy ultimate, which they don't have one right now. But maybe you didn't know that, and that you probably didn't know that in the game.
Tactical visor activated. Immortality field deployed.
I mean, that actually kind of sucks that your team, like, obviously not your fault, but your team just spent 2 ults when we were up, like, we had a pick, and we just, like, invested 2 ults to win, what, a fight that we were going to win anyway. Yeah, at this point, I would just, like, definitely just hide, because, like, I think everyone's fine enough that they just don't need you to die to a random arrow. Yeah. And I think it would be fine for you to window someone who gets caught on this blizzard. Like, it looks like the Hog is going to get caught in it. I think this would be a fine window. Just to help secure the kills, you know? I think maybe with, like, using the... Between using your Hog for cover and using the cart for cover and having a lamp that you can throw at your feet, I think you probably would have been safe enough from the visor that you could just window and just burn that enemy Hog just to ensure that you killed the Hog. That would have been probably my play, but it looks like you guys got him without it, so. So you used your window about as well as you could there. That was pretty good.
My ultimate is charging.
c'est prescription docteur.
Okay, that was pretty well played.
Start a blizzard.
In tip-top shape.
I guess the only thing I could say about that last fight was I think there were probably some points where you could have jumped up to high ground for like a greedier angle, but
30 seconds remaining.
it is risky when it's unclear where exactly the Hanzo is.
Come on out. Reloading. Someone has
I would just drop it like right now. Drop the lamp. Okay, just in time. And then just use your lamp. Just drop it. It's the last fight.
Trying to impress me, young man?
Okay, so so as far as the weapon play, like the weaving between damage and healing, that actually sharpened up quite a bit. It started off kind of rocky, and like it got quite a bit better as the match went on. You probably just got warmed up or something. So I wouldn't worry about that. That's not like your lowest hanging fruit. Like easily, I think the lowest hanging fruit in the gameplay is just the jumping. Like, why are we exo boots jumping? Like all the time, just making ourselves an easy target for stuff like the soldier, for like the Hanzo, and especially in situations where we're not even trying to use it for greedy angles to heal or do damage or to reposition on high ground. We're just using it just to use it, almost just because we can, or because we think it's making us more like harder to hit. It's making us easier to hit, so we gotta quit using the exo boots just all the time. Especially like in the sight lines of enemies, like enemies who were within their effective range, especially like hit scans and stuff. That's like by far the easiest thing to fix that would help you, just because all you have to do is stop doing it, right? So I would say just work on that for a while and see if you can change that habit. And then I thought you did pretty good with like closing angles when you, so like say when you're healing enemies, you don't need to be exposing yourself to enemies, because obviously at that moment when you're healing, all you can do is heal, so you don't need to see an enemy, because if the enemy can see you, then they can shoot you, kind of thing, right? So you did pretty good with like when you were healing. For the most part, you weren't exposed to enemies, and you only exposed yourself to enemies when you wanted to go offensive and actually shoot them. That's pretty good. The positioning, like broadly speaking, was pretty good. You're like mostly playing your back line, mostly not like crazy far forward or like crazy out of position. You, I would say, like most of the time took high ground when it was appropriate. Probably at the start of the match, I would like to also play up there. That was like one of the few times you didn't seem to like it was on point A. You seem to kind of like playing the low ground a lot, but on the other points you seem to take high ground whenever it was good. The window usage, I think, mainly was okay, except for the point A attack fuck up where we used it when there was like no enemies around, because we didn't know that they were. That was like more. That wasn't like a ultimate problem. That was like a game sense problem. So kind of like tracking how many enemies are left alive type of thing. But you didn't seem to mess up too badly with that in other situations. It seemed like a one-time thing. There was like the one-time thing where you just kind of like walked up into the enemy Roadhog. Like your tank was dead and like it was just like a few of you left, and you were just kind of walking just into the enemy team. It was really bizarre. So I don't know what you saw there that made you think that that was okay. I could try to find it, but I think you remember which one I was talking about. I'm not. I don't know why you did it. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know why you did it. It's basically just it's a Roadhog, and you can't ever just walk on a Roadhog like that. So if I knew more about why you did it, we could go over what like how to correct the thought process. But other than that, oh, shift usage was too liberal. Yeah, I think you used shift too often when there was like not much health missing. The lamp usage was better than the shift usage. So I would say like top two things to work on. Like first, like stop the exo boots jumping, and then second most important thing probably is I would probably say shift usage. Like actually wait until people are really dangerously low to use your shift. And then I would say like third thing to work on. And I'm not saying like do this all at once, but do like just play a bunch of games where you quit doing the exo boots jump. And once that's fixed, then like worry about having more impactful shift usage, the regenerative burst. And then once that's fixed, I would say third issue probably quit reloading so much in like mid-fight. Like reloading when we still have like 8-10 rounds left, and like healing grenades. If there's still some kind of a fight going on, just hold the ammo, because it's better to like, you know, just keep using those as long as the fight is going, and then maybe you do, when you're at 0 healing grenades, you find yourself in a shitty situation and you have to reload, but at least you didn't like, you know, reload when you needed it, you know. So anyway, I would say those are kind of like the top three. So let me know if you have any questions or comments, concerns, anything like that.